Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Wine After Nine. This is episode 23. Woo! We are getting up there, guys, with your host, Dionté.
And Rashida.
Bringing you your group chat personified.
Yes.
So before we fully get into the nitty-gritty and why we're wearing these hats,
yes,
Rashida, what are we drinking?
Well, I am sticking to this dry Jan thing, guys, and I have to say I'm really proud of myself.
I'm so proud of you. You've really done well.
I've never done dry Jan before, but like I also feel weirdly like clearer. It feels nice on like the weekends to just wake up and feel clear because I haven't like drunk alcohol. Not to say that I drink to get so drunk, but you know sometimes even when you do have like 2 glasses of wine,
it can still affect
make you feel groggy the next morning. But I've been feeling really clear. I even went out. When did I go out? I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. And I was literally in like a bar and I didn't drink. And I had such a good time.
Oh, that's amazing.
And literally we even had like people buying us drinks. Like basically there was some guy like playing this like saxophone. And he literally bought us like a tray of shots out of the blue because he just saw us sitting there and he was just like, oh, like I bought you girls shots. I gave the shots out. I was like, I'm not doing it.
Well done.
I'm so proud of myself.
You really
I'm
did well.
sticking to this dry Jan.
Because you would have been tempted with them shots. Free shots.
I was so tempted. And then another group of guys bought us shot. Like, people are literally throwing drinks at us. Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm not drinking. And one guy kept asking me, he was like, are you sure you're right? I was like, I'm good, my guy. Don't worry about me. I'm fine.
You know, sometimes God will put you in tempting situations to see, like, are you really about it?
No, literally, like, yeah, man. So, I'm drinking Coke. Even though today is, we'll get into it while we're in the house, but today's a special episode. But I thought, you know what? I'm still going to stick to my dry Jan.
Yes, as you should. As you should. Yeah, see it through to the end, girl.
Yeah, literally. But what are you drinking?
I am drinking Asti because we are celebrating today.
We are, guys.
As you can see, we have on our beautiful party hats. Got a nice little balloon. Let's give them like a couple seconds to think why we're celebrating. Okay, the reason why we are celebrating, we have hit one of the first milestones of this podcast. Yes. Guys, we have been doing it for 1 whole year. In it. For real.
We're blowing things. Now, guys, we have hit a year.
We've hit a year.
Of Wine After Nine podcast. So, I think it's the 26th.
Yeah.
Is when we put out our first ever episode. And yeah, here we are, 23 episodes later.
That is crazy.
And yeah, it's been a year.
It's been a year. Yeah. Oh my God.
I can't believe it.
It feels like such an accomplishment that like we actually saw this through for a whole year. Do you get what I mean? Because you know, like exactly, we stuck to it. Because you know, sometimes people, their lives can get busy, things can happen, things start to slack. But like we've actually really been very consistent throughout this year. Like I'm so proud of us.
I'm so proud of us.
We've really done the damn thing.
Yeah,
but can we talk about as well how far we've actually come?
No, honestly, when I look at like on my camera, because I was cleaning stuff on my camera to record today, and I was just looking at my camera and I saw like the pictures that we took the first day when we came and like set everything up.
Oh my gosh.
And there's like the picture of you on the long sofa. I can't even remember us sitting on the long sofa.
I don't remember the long sofa.
I know, it's mad.
That is
long
crazy.
Sofa, when we used to struggle with our phones.
Oh my God.
Do you remember?
We couldn't even do YouTube videos.
No,
because all we had was our phones.
Literally.
Like, we were literally just depending on clips. We had nothing, guys.
We literally had nothing.
We were literally like, we delved in head first. Yeah. And we're just like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the worst that can happen? But obviously, if you've been rocking with us from the beginning, you should be able to see how far we've come just by looking at us from when we started to now.
Yeah.
Like, even the quality's better.
Yeah.
We're a lot more confident.
Yeah,
we were nervous, honey.
It flows a lot more as well.
Flows a lot more. We are professionals, okay?
We were so nice. I remember when we did the first episode. No, I remember even when we said that, right, we're going to announce this podcast. And we basically had... I think we had we had recorded the first episode. So we recorded the first episode and we never told anybody that we were doing this, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't.
We just literally came on Instagram one day and we're like, yeah, guys, we're doing a podcast. It's first episode dropping on Friday.
Literally.
And we did this on a Wednesday.
Man.
And I remember from the Wednesday to the Friday feeling physically sick.
I remember.
I felt sick.
I remember you were trying your best to be calm, but I could tell you were like, I'm nervous,
I felt sick.
No, but it is nerve-wracking. Like, when you start something new, especially like a podcast, you start to think of all the things like, oh my God, are people going to like it?
Yeah.
What will they think of me?
Shit.
Yeah, like, do we actually talk with substance? Are we just yapping?
Exactly.
All of this runs through your mind.
That was my main thing. Because I was like, I don't want this podcast to be a thing like how we're just talking about very generic topics. Like, I wanted us to actually delve deep and have interesting, substantial conversations.
100.
So the fact that we've done it is mad.
I know, man.
For a whole year.
For a whole year. It's gone quick though, don't you think?
It has gone really quick. It doesn't feel like a year.
It literally feels like 6 months.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Like 6 months of like consistent.
Yeah.
But I wonder why though. Or maybe because like we're actually getting into the groove of things.
Yes.
And like things are now a bit more intense than like when we first started.
Exactly, yeah. So now it feels more real than it did.
Yeah. It feels way more real. Like before it felt like, oh, this is a cute hobby with my friend. Like, but now it feels like, okay, we are a podcast. Like, we are a brand. This is what we have to build. Like, but I like it though. I've enjoyed every single minute of this journey.
I've enjoyed
like
every second. It's
even
not
the
been
stresses.
Easy. I know, yeah. We have had you guys don't even know. Sometimes me and Dee have come to record and we get so frustrated that even to the point where just like we don't want to do this anymore, but we have to do it. Like we just
have to. Yeah.
There's been days when I've been like, I'm gonna pack myself and go and drive home because I'm so like we have had moments, guys. I don't think you understand. Like, we have suffered. We have done, but I wouldn't change it for anything
at all. Like, it's just been a learning lesson.
Yeah, 100%.
As you go on. And I love the fact as well that at first I was a bit not upset, but I felt a type of way because we didn't start off polished.
Yes.
But now I'm so happy we did it the way we did.
100%.
Because I think it's really a beautiful thing for people to see, like, from the very, very start, like how it is and see people progress. Yeah. Because then we can actually give more hope to other people who want to be podcasters or do things like that. Like
100%.
This is how it's going to look at the beginning, but it's fine. Like, it's going to get better.
100%.
And that's that's another thing actually, before I go into it. Throughout this whole year, what is something like you feel like you've learned the most or like you've grown the most in?
What, in terms of the podcast?
Yeah, in terms of the podcast.
I'll say maybe a few things. Mm-hmm. I think the podcast has, I've got like confidence more kind of on, I think I've always been quite a camera, in front of the camera person anyway. Mm-hmm. I've never had an issue with that in my life. But I think with the podcast, I've done it and I've put it out there. Yeah. I think I have this thing where, and I was literally thinking about this the other day because I haven't posted on TikTok in ages. Yeah. But I go through times where I'm like, I want to put myself out there. Oh, excuse me. I want to put myself out there. I want to do this, but then I don't do it. Yeah. And I feel like with this podcast, I've said to myself, I'm going to put myself out there and I've actually done it. Yeah. Like, and it's actually out there for everybody to see. Like, anyone come across. The YouTube thing was the scariest thing for me. Oh, yeah. And I overcame that. And it's weird because I always wanted to do YouTube back in the day. Like, I've always, in another life, I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, I've always wanted to do YouTube. I think I'd be so good at it. Like, not even to gas myself, but I actually think I'd be a really good YouTuber. But I've always been so scared and I always rate them for just putting their stuff out there. Yeah. So now I think in this year, I've got more confident with putting myself out there. Because even on like my own TikTok, I've put myself out there. I've vlogged, I've done stuff. And I think the podcast has really helped me with that. Yeah, 100%. So, and I've definitely seen your growth. Yeah. Definitely seen your growth. Like you said, I've seen your confidence grow. Yeah. I feel like I've really grown. Both, even you, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like our confidence is really good. We have. Like, I can really see it. And to be fair, like, I love looking at clips from before. Yeah. Like, do you remember when we were taking pictures and stuff in oh my gosh, in that hotel? Yeah, do you remember? Mate. Yeah, that was around this time last year because I remember I had the what's that hairstyle called? The faux locks.
You did have the faux locks.
Yeah, it came up in my Snap memories the other day.
I remember you did have the faux locks. Oh my gosh. And we literally spent hours.
Oh my gosh, we were there for
just
hours.
doing content. Can we even just deep here, even to go back a bit more? I'm sure we talk about it all the time, but I'm going to bring it up again for the new listeners. Fam, before we even started this podcast, I think from the moment we spoke about it to the moment we started was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, literally. We just got it done.
We literally just talked to each other on the phone and was like, should we do a podcast?
Yeah,
and we were like, yeah,
literally.
you know. The Zoom. You know, I still have a screenshot from that Zoom call.
Do you? You need to keep that.
I'm keeping everything from the beginning.
I need to start documenting the journey more.
I even screenshotted
stuff.
Like our social media pages so that when it blows,
we can look back. I need to start doing that.
Fam.
I need to start doing that.
I'm so big on like memories now.
Yeah. 100%.
So now I'm trying to keep all the things that I know that I would want to look back on.
Yeah, 100%.
Because even now, it's only been a year, but I love looking back on those pictures and the content that we did, all of that. But like you said, I think the scariest bit was to put yourself out there and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think that was my biggest, is being vulnerable, like putting my business out there, because I'm quite a private person. Like, I don't like to tell my business out there. Like, I have to be close to you to tell you my business.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that I was like, oh my God, am I going to be open enough to have a podcast?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. But I'm also proud, like, I've actually been a lot more open than I thought I would be.
Yeah. It's just flowed, I think.
It flows, and, like, now it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can only get better, honey.
It can only get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get bigger.
Oh.
And we're just going to have so much to...
That's why, guys, we're not going to say much, but just stay tuned.
Yeah, more things are coming already.
More things are coming, and we thank you, Lord.
Yeah,
because
praise God, man.
It really shows you, like, so much can change in a year.
So much.
Your life can literally change in a year. In a month, literally. Yeah. Like, it can change so quick.
One little thing can change the trajectory of your life.
100%. Okay, so before we go into the episode, do you have any final thoughts or advice for the listeners who are out there?
Final thoughts. I have a final thought and I have a final question, actually.
Oh, okay. Let me hear it.
So the final question is, what has been, like, your favourite episode so far, or your favourite, like, moment so far? Ooh.
Do you know what? I really enjoyed the episode when we talked about grief and loss.
Oh my God, that was mine.
Yeah, like, I can't lie. I really did it. Like, although the topic that we're talking about was sad, I low-key even felt like it brought us a bit closer.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you get what I mean? Like, obviously, we knew what each other went through, but we never spoke about it like that.
Yeah, I don't think we ever spoke about
it
in that depth.
We more just assumed, like, okay, yeah, she's sad or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, to hear your point of view and, like, how you went through things and vice versa, it was so opening for me. And I feel like that episode for me was when I was like, okay.
Yeah, I can do this.
I can actually do this.
That was the most vulnerable I think we have ever been.
Ever. That was the episode I was most nervous, but I enjoyed the most.
I was really nervous for that episode. Mm-hmm. And I think because I didn't know how it would go emotion-wise for me, because a lot of people actually don't know, we filmed that episode the day before, I think, the 4th anniversary of my dad's death. So I was already in a bit of a weird headspace, but weirdly, that episode helped me to get through the next day. Because I kind of spoke about it. So it's like...
You got it off your chest.
Yeah, I got it off my chest. So when it came to the morning of that day, I was like, you know what? I can do this day. Yeah. And I did it.
You really did the damn thing. I can't even lie.
We both did. It was
I don't even know where we got that strength from.
I don't know where it came from.
But it came. Yeah. Only God.
Yeah, honestly.
Only God and each other.
Yeah.
And I feel like I also want to say this as well, yeah. Even having this podcast, I'm so happy I'm doing it with someone.
Yes.
And especially someone who has, like, similar interests.
100%.
Because I feel like sometimes, even those days where I feel like, oh, I can't be bothered, or I can't be bothered to edit, or I can't be bothered to do this, and then I'll think of you and be like, okay, come on, man.
Same for me, yeah.
Get your shit together. Or, like, I'll see, like, you've posted a clip and I'll be like, oh, come on, get your shit together. Rashida's done it.
Yeah.
Like, you motivate me a lot to keep going.
as well. Or I can even just like, I think that my favourite thing about the motivation with us is when we're having technical issues.
Yes.
Sometimes me and Dee will have technical issues. I don't think I'm like, I want to dash my laptop. I want to dash my phone. I want to
throw it out the window.
I'm not doing this shit no more, man. It's long. But then I'll just message Dee and I'll be like, listen, Dee, this is what's going on. Like, I'm trying to edit this. It's not working. And then Dee will be like, okay, just calm down. It's cool. Go to sleep. Come back to it in the morning. It's calm. It's going to be all right. And I'll be like, you know what? Fine. Yeah. Because we have like deadlines in the way that we do things. So I'll like edit and be like, okay, cool, I'm going to edit this in the morning. I'm going to post it at 7. Yeah. When it doesn't work, I get stressed. And then Dee will be like, Rashida, it's not that deep. You can do it tomorrow. And I'll be like, you know what? It's actually not that deep. Yeah. And just keep it moving.
100%. And Rashida does the same thing for me as well. Don't get it twisted. Like, because me, I lose it. Yeah. No, I'll voice note Rashida and be like, I can't believe this happened. This fucking thing.
Dude, like, I'm gonna cry.
I'm actually gonna cry.
Listen to this. I'm like, Dee, don't stress yourself. It's fine.
Like, hearing Rashida's voice and she's like, listen, it's not that deep.
Yeah, it's
like,
calm.
We'll just deal with it tomorrow. I'll put a statement out. It's calm. Like, honestly, I swear, without Rashida, I would have dashed this camera months ago.
Honestly, I would have stopped doing this from time.
I would have stopped doing it.
Like, I'm telling you that for a fact. If this was something I was doing alone, I'm telling you now, I would have given up from the first technical issue. I'm not doing this no more.
It's not for the weak. Like,
I'm not doing it.
That's the thing. If I've ever been naive and spoken about people on social media, like, oh, what easy job. I'm sorry.
It's not.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I take it back. Because you see this, my 9 to 5 isn't as hard as this.
No, honestly.
Fam.
It really isn't.
It's insane
because shit is hard.
And I think as well, like, because it's your own brand, it's like the pressure is 10 times more because you want it to be good. Yeah. Whereas like when it's your 9 to 5, unfortunately, you're just like, I'm just here to get a check. Let me do my job and clock out. Like, do you get what I mean? It's not my daddy's company, so I don't care. Yeah. Whereas like this podcast, it's literally our baby. Yeah. So it's like when something goes wrong with your baby, you lose it. Yeah. That's how we feel. Definitely, like, no, but. Oh, Rashida, we've done so well.
We did it. Guys, we've done it. We've got to a year. It's an amazing achievement. Mm-hmm. And here's to the next year.
Here is to the next year.
Here is to the next year. Here is to year 2. Yes. And year 2 will be at a different level. And we'll look back on year 1 and be like, wow, like, da-da-da. But I've got a good feeling about 2025. I've been saying this continuously. I think it's going to be a good year.
Definitely.
And I just feel like all the work that we're putting in is going to be rewarded. Like,
100%.
But guys, just stay tuned for more guests, more vibes, more content. There's just so much.
Yes, we have so much planned. Like, it's crazy. And I honestly can't wait for you all to see it. Yeah. But let us go into episode 23.
Yes. What have we got for today? There's so much to discuss.
There's so much to discuss. But I actually wanted to discuss this with you really quickly. Because it came out. I don't know if it was even today or yesterday, but when we're filming this, I think it came out yesterday or today, that Krept Konan are opening up a supermarket.
Yes.
Now obviously I don't want to give out your location, but do you get what I mean? This is something...
No, do you know what? I don't even mind because I'm always shouting about my ends anyway. As everyone knows, I'm from Croydon. Bop. That's my ends. I'm going to represent the end of time. Even though people are like, oh, we should have Croydon so razzed. That's my ends, innit?
Be proud of where you're from.
I would not be the woman that I am today if I was not born and raised in Croydon. You wouldn't get this version of me if I didn't grow up in Croydon. Mm-hmm. But no, do you know what? One thing I rate about Krept is his business mind. I was literally having this conversation with someone on the way here, and I feel like with Krept, right? Mm-hmm. Because music is one thing, and I actually like Krept Konan's music. They make music, they do what they're doing, but I think they're thinking ahead, which I really like. Yeah. Because I think music is something like, you can do it, and a lot of artists can generationally keep going. Yeah. But I think a lot of people they've been doing music from when there was like what? They were like teenagers.
Fam, we were kids.
We were kids when they put on the scene. Yeah, when they were making music like proper, and they still are. Mm-hmm. But it's like I just really respect that Krept, especially like what he's done with Nala's baby. Like that man is a businessman.
Listen.
And I love the fact that he's creating something for his daughter, number one. Number two, the fact that they're able to just go into something just to keep the wealth and keep it going. And it's nice to see two black men just be like, we're going to find our feet in this business world. And I just love the fact that they've made this supermarket in the ends.
100.
I just love the fact that it's in the ends, and I would definitely be going there to shop.
100.
To get my meat.
Listen, if that was local, I would do that as well.
No, I'm 100% going there.
And like you said, Krept's mindset when it comes to business is impeccable. Like, that shit is attractive to me.
Yeah, it is very attractive.
Like you said, they're thinking ahead, because I feel like a lot of musical artists, I'd say, in all genres, I feel like they feel like their talent is going to keep them until they're ready to retire.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the music industry, it's really a luck and marketing game.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, people forget that, okay, you may be popping now, but there's going to be new people who are coming on the scene.
Exactly.
People are going to get older, and they're not going to be as interested as they were when they're younger. There's going to be new young people who are interested in things. And then eventually, like, I'm sure people check for you, but like, not as much as when people first start out. So the fact that they're still doing their thing when it comes to music, but like you said, you can tell they're thinking of like, this music thing isn't going to be forever. The supermarket is like, it caters to people of ethnic background, minorities. Yeah. Like, that's what I really like halal, different seasoning, 100%. All the things that you can't get in like the typical Tesco, Sainsbury's, all of those supermarkets. Yeah. Or that are limited there. You can get it endlessly there. Yeah. And I like that. And I actually think it's a very clever move to do it in Croydon, not only because that's where like their ends are, but even the demographic of Croydon, that supermarket is going to pop off. Yeah. They did it at the perfect area because Croydon is so ethnically diverse. Yeah. I promise you, they'll probably even sell out.
No, honestly, they
did the right thing. 100%. And then I feel like he's gonna do like what he did with Lada's Baby. Once they see like how popping the supermarket is, then they're gonna start branching out to different places. I think they're gonna do East next.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, East is a good place to have shops.
East is a good place. I think East, South, and North. Yeah. But like North, it depends. Like, it has to be like Edmonton or places like that where it's a bit more neutral. Yeah. But whereas like I feel like when it comes to ethnic minorities, East and South,
100%. That's
is where it's at. Yeah. You will never go wrong when it comes to things that are like catered for minorities.
100%. Yeah.
So I'm so proud of them, and like it's so refreshing.
Yeah, I was so happy when I saw that.
Yeah, like,
because I was like, wow, this is amazing. I think I just got even more gassed that it was in Croydon.
Of course.
I was just like, no.
If it was in my head, I'd be gassed.
Yeah. And I think because, Croydon is so ethnically diverse. I think that's one of my favourite things about growing up in Croydon, that I grew up with so many different races and so many different people, and like, it's so multicultural. And so I think, and the fact that even on like near where I live, literally they've got all their meat shops, but all of them are always popping because there's so many people that you can just go to one shop. So cool, give me that price, I'm going to go to the next one. Literally. And you can just go to all these different shops, you can get everything you need.
Listen, how you know South is good, for stuff, even supermarket and market. Yeah. My childhood literally consisted. Listen, I'm not from South. Like, I'm from Northwest, innit? But every Saturday morning, my parents would drive to South to go to the market.
I miss those days.
And I'll be sitting in the car with my brother, like, okay.
You'd be so pissed off you have to drive. Yeah, we used to, so where I live, we used to drive deeper into South. Yeah. To get like meat. My mum would go every single Saturday.
I know South London because of that. Yeah. Literally, we went everywhere in South you could go. We went, like, but the thing is, my mum would always come back with suya. That's what I used to look forward to. Because she would always bribe us, like, come with me and I'll get you suya. And I'll be like, okay.
Those are the days,
Those were the days, man.
Oh, I miss those days. Yeah, there's such a beauty in growing up and going to those areas.
Yeah, especially when you're a minority yourself. Yeah. It's so nice to see people who look like you and have the similar interests, similar food tastes, all of this. Like, do you know how nice it is to walk somewhere and you're like, oh, this is the seasoning I've been looking for.
Oh,
like,
it is the best.
It's so nice, and you're literally like, you have so much to choose from. There's even certain seasonings like, you're like, oh right, I've never even heard of this one.
Yeah. Or ones from like other countries. Like, you know, like when you're in Uganda and maybe there's a certain seasoning that you can only see in Uganda, and then you just walk into a shop and you can just find it there.
Exactly.
It just brings that feeling of home, so that means you can eat your food
and
do things the way you want it. Like, it's those areas are so special to me, man.
100. You hit the nail on the head with that. Like, it feels like home.
It feels like home.
And you know, like, being in this UK, I know people love to say like, oh, we love to play victim and all of that. But being here in this UK, a lot of the times, a lot of people who are minorities will experience that feeling of loneliness.
Yeah.
Or like, you feel like you don't fit in, you don't belong.
Yeah.
Even if you're born here, we've all kind of had that feeling of like, we're too black to be from the UK, but we're too English to be from where we're from.
Yeah.
So like, little things like this, although it seems small, is something that we need even for our well-being, to show like little pieces of home, to feel included. Because otherwise, without all of these inclusive things for us, UK will be even more miserable than it already is.
Honestly, it really would be.
I honestly even feel like my parents would have moved back.
No,
if they didn't have all of these things,
I think,
they would have been back. They would have said, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
All of this. I think they got gassed because, number one, majority of their people came as well.
Yeah.
And number two, like, if they want Ugandan food, they can go to a Ugandan restaurant here.
Yeah, 100%.
Or they can go to a market.
Yeah.
They can go to a Ugandan shop. Like, there's little pieces for every country.
Yeah.
You can find like a Pakistani butcher.
Yeah.
You can find an Indian one.
Yeah.
You can find a Singaporean.
Yeah.
You can literally find anything. And I feel like people who are originally from the UK don't want to admit it, but that's what makes the UK good to me. I feel like that's what makes people want to come.
Yeah.
Because when you really deep it, when it comes to the touristy things, when it comes to London, you can do it in a day.
Yeah, you can.
You can literally do it. If you wake up really early and go back home late at night, you can do everything in one day.
100.
But like, even people like celebs and stuff, you're going Eden, that is an African club. Like, would you go to fucking some random place in Covent Garden where it's just us?
Yeah,
you wouldn't like it.
It's true.
Do you get what I mean? Like, people don't like to give us our credit, but us ethnics, we really made the UK better than
honestly,
it was, because you guys were really suffering. Sorry.
No, honestly, look at the diversity that's coming.
The diversity made it what it is today.
Exactly, yeah. That's why things like gentrification really upset me. I went to Peckham on Saturday to look for hair, and I was just walking through, and me and my sister walking through, and we saw this random so there's all these hair shops, there was the meat shop, and there was this random coffee shop that looked like it should be in Shoreditch, and it pissed me off so much. You know, I was like, why the fuck is this even here? Because
they hate the fact that we have so much influence.
Yeah, and I just hate that they're driving these shops and driving these people out. Like, I walked through Peckham. I went to Peckham every weekend as a kid. My mum would go there to do her meat shopping. She would get all our hair products.
Peckham was the place,
I'd get my hair done at my auntie's house, but then we'd go there to buy all the stuff, and then we'd take it to my auntie. I would get my hair. Like, it was... All those shops just mean so much to me, and I was walking through and I was just thinking of all these memories, and I was like, wow, like, look at the area and look at all these shops, and like, I saw there was like a Jamaican shop, and then I saw there was like a Ghanaian shop, and then I saw there was a hair, and it just was so like, and the little markets in between, you know, with the like African materials.
Yeah. Oh my
and then
gosh!
I was like, this is so nice. And then I saw this random fucking coffee shop, and I was like, what the hell is this even doing here? And you know people as well that come from like out of London, it's like, oh, I'm living in Peckham, it's so urban, it's so exciting.
Literally. Really, it's so annoying, but then it just shows you like they hate our influence.
Yeah.
And they're seeing it go in a way like the UK isn't going to be the UK anymore if we don't step in and do this. But what the fuck is a coffee shop going to make it any more UK than if it wasn't there? Like,
they just want to drive all the people
out.
I
feel like they're very good at doing like small doses. Like, it starts off with a coffee shop, and then there'll be two.
Yep.
And then there'll be 5.
Then there'll be a bar.
And then there'll be a bar.
Pub. Then there'll be something else. When they do apartments, that's when you know it's a wrap.
Oh, they've already started.
Yeah, when they do apartments.
That's when you know it's really done up.
Real.
Yeah,
they did it in my area. So there used to be like a little strip. And I remember there was a Ghanaian hair shop. There was another. Then next door to the Ghanaian hair shop, there was a Ghanaian restaurant. Like they had all these shops. I used to go in that shop to get my hair done all the time. They even had another shop where you could get materials. Dionté, they have cleared that place out. It's apartments now. Whole place is gone. Every single shop is gone.
Do you know what actually hurt me? I'm not even from South, but this hurt me. The Surrey Quays.
Where the Hollywood Bowl is.
Yeah. Really when I tell you,
I'm not even from
that leisure park.
Yeah, man.
I'm not from those sides. That leisure park was my childhood. Yeah. You see, when my mum would take extra long. That's where we will go, you know. Yeah. I'd be like, let's pass time. Let's just go bowling.
Yeah, or let's go and eat.
Or the arcade. Or even the cinema. There was a cinema.
So cheap as well, man.
So cheap.
It was so cheap. You could both like a tenner.
Fam!
It was so cheap.
Nah,
man.
You see, when I saw that whole thing closed down, I said, yeah.
They're going to turn it into apartments. It's going to be like a whole little apartment complex. You know the ones with the shop, with the restaurant underneath? It's going to be one of those ones. That's what they did when they drove out all those shops. I was so sad. Because I was like, where are these people going to go now?
Do you know what, though? I really hope, like, we get to a point one day where we can show them that we don't have to be here either.
Yeah.
Like, I'll come here to visit my relatives, my friends, or whatever, because this is where I grew up. But if a lot of us were just like, I'm not going to live here anymore.
I'm going to bounce.
But a lot of they will really understand what you're doing with this gentrification is not running.
It's true.
Their UK is going to plummet down the drain. And then then they'll realise the true impact we had.
Yeah.
A positive impact, let me say. Yeah. The true positive impact we had.